All right, all right, all right. We have some people joining in now. We're going to give everyone a minute. But while we give everyone some time, please drop in the chat, can you hear me? And where are you calling in from? It's got 40 people in the room right now. Perfect. Got someone from Florida, Omaha. Where else? Where's everyone calling in from? Drop it in the chat. Vancouver, Alabama, Phoenix, Ontario, Ohio. It's more Canada, Alaska. The Canadians on the call are going to like what they hear today about billing. I'm excited about this one. Okay, looks like, okay, we got Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I'm based. Melissa, where do you live in Atlanta? What part of town? I'm over in Midtown, over by Ponds. West Cobb. Wow, okay. Got a lot of people in the chat right now, so we got about 72 people that have joined the webinar. Let's go ahead and kick this off. So why are we all here today? Today, we are here to talk about Billing 2.0. We released Billing a few months ago. And since then, we've been talking with our customers. Our dev team has been really focused on improving the billing functionality, adding improvements every single week. And now we've got it to a point to where we have a full-featured billing platform. So we wanted to really spend some time today to show you everything that billing can do now and how powerful it can be for your firm. And a lot of the major benefits from switching, from having integrated billing inside your practice management platform. So drop in the chat. I want to know who here hasn't set up the billing platform inside of Financial Sense, but is interested in doing so. Drop in the chat. Okay, Kathy. Oh yeah, there's a lot. Okay, so it seems like a lot of people have not. So I'm curious to see what you all think by the time we get through. I'm actually curious. Drop it in the chat. Why haven't you yet? Is it time? Are you waiting on functionality? I know the Canadians, you don't have Canadian billing yet. I am excited to tell everyone, all the Canadian firms, we are releasing, hopefully we've done a partnership with Stripe, and we should be releasing Canadian billing in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So it will be available soon, so you can use proposals, you can use billing, you have all the functionality you're going to see today. Okay, a lot, so it looks like, okay, perfect. So let's jump on it. So, well, really quick, before I actually jump on in and show you all the new functionality, let's talk about what is the value. What is the value for using the integrated billing inside of Financial Sense? So one of the most common value points we see is cost savings. Our rates are more competitive than a lot of the other vendors in the space. So not only can you save, we're seeing some firms potentially save thousands of dollars, up to I think almost $10,000 or more in processing fees for every $1 million of value. And that's from the competitive rates, but also from the ability to pass on credit card fees to your clients. So cost savings is a big value that we've seen, but also consolidating your tech stack. This is a big one. A lot of firms have a lot of different apps that they're using. They're switching between different tabs. And we've seen a lot of value from not having to have your billing in a separate platform, pay for a separate subscription, which saves you more money, right? But really just streamlining the operations, not having to pay, not having to train your team on two different solutions, and not just the internal team side, but also the client side. Not having two different portals, a place for your client to go pay invoices, a place for your client to go upload documents, a place for your client to go send you messages or complete requests. You can have that all in one portal now, creating a better, more modern client experience, which impresses your customer, helps you retain your customer, but also helps you get paid faster. And outside of that, automations. Having like the billing integrated into your workflow and practice management tool is going to open the door for so many automations. For example, right now, invoices are automatically created when a client signs a proposal and can automatically collect that payment. But also, you'll have the ability soon to trigger work to be created when a proposal is signed, or an invoice to automatically be sent once work is completed, automating a lot of these low admin tasks in your billing process. And reporting. Having the billing data and the work data all in one place is going to allow your firm to get more insights into which services are driving revenue, which projects, which clients, and which team members are driving firm profitability. Where are you? Which are your most unprofitable service types, and which one are your most unprofitable clients? So you can boost firm profitability and focus on the clients that matter. And I'm going to show you some of that today. So these are some of the great things that are going to be available with this new Billing 2.0 platform. So let's jump on in. I'm going to share my screen. So we're first going to start off with talking about invoicing because that's the core of the billing platform. So now in Financial Sense, you'll see this billing tab. If you want to be able to invoice out of Financial Sense, you have to complete your merchant application. But once that's completed, you'll be able to create and send invoices to your clients. So in this invoice screen, you can see all the different stages your invoices are in, how much money is in draft, outstanding, paid, or overdue. And you can view all the individual invoices down here. You can see how much work, when it is due, when the invoice date was, the frequency, and you can see which invoices have been synced to QBO. If you're using QuickBooks Online, you can automatically sync all the invoicing and payments to QuickBooks. So when you send an invoice, it's created in QBO. When the invoice is paid, those payments are synced to QBO as well. And I'll show you that in a little bit as well. But you can see which invoices have been synced and not synced here. So let's actually show you how invoicing works. So if you create an invoice in Financial Sense up here, this thing will slide out. This may look a little similar to what you're using in QBO. We did that by design, just so it's more familiar. You can select the client you want to create an invoice for. Let's select a contact. So let's select Jonathan at that client firm. You can send a one-time invoice or a recurring invoice. So you can schedule like automatic recurring invoices. So if you want to bill the client on the first of every month, or whatever frequency you want to be able to do that on. Let's use one time for this example. We're going to do an invoice date of today, and we're going to make it due 14 days from now. So in terms of payment collection, you have the option to just send an invoice to the client, which the client can then pay virtually. Or if you have the client's payment methods, you can auto charge the payment methods on their client file. For this example, we're just going to send the invoice to the client. I want to show you what that looks like. And then lastly, you can set up the client reminders. If you want, you can remind the client every few days or every week or every 2 weeks to pay the invoice until it gets done. So down here is where you're going to build the invoice, right? So I can add in my service date if I want to do that. I can also add in the service items. So let's just say, for example, monthly bookkeeping. And I can apply tax if I want. You can also apply discounts as well. And I can add a description. So now I'm going to show you what this looks like on the client side. Actually, before I go into that, let me see if there's any questions in the chat. Robert, I will let you know you can customize the invoice number now with billing. So if that was something you want to do, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Okay, let's see. Hey, Jennifer, so one thing I want to mention is there is no monthly subscription fee for billing. Billing is included in all your subscription plans. So if you're on solo, team, or scale plan, everyone has access to invoicing. There is no extra subscription fee. It is included. The only thing is processing fees. So our processing fees are 2.9% on credit card and 1% on ACH with a $5 cap, which is very competitive. Like QuickBooks Online, it's typically uncapped for most of its users, or a $15 cap. So you're paying 3 times the fees typically on QBO or ACH, and I think the credit card fees are the same, but But in financial sense, you could pass those credit card fees on to the clients and not have to pay those fees. You can make invoices recur. And you can uncheck payment methods that you don't want to use. And you can record outside payments. I'll show you how you can manually mark invoices paid if they pay you via cash or check. Elizabeth, I'll take note of that. Okay, so let me now show you what this looks like on the client side. So I'm going to preview the invoice. You can customize the message that's sent to the client, and this is a snapshot of what the email is going to look like. This is what the PDF is going to look like, which you can customize. And then you can also see what the payment page is going to look like. Oh, and I want to go back and show you this real quick. You can also customize the fields that are shown on the invoice. So you can see here, there's all these fields. You'll see this customize button. You can choose not to show the service date if you want, or other items on the invoice. So now I've removed service date and it's just showing the service item. So you can customize what's displayed on the invoice as well. So I'm going to preview this, and now I'm going to send it to myself so you can see what it looks like. Okay. So let me pull up my email real quick. Okay, so your client's going to receive something that looks like this. It'll have your firm's logo. It's going to have the amount, the due date, and then the message from your firm. They can then click this email, which will take them directly in to make payment for the invoice. I'm already logged into the portal, so I see this other stuff. But if they weren't logged in, they would just be taken straight to the payment page. They don't have to go into the portal to access this. They can then pay with credit card or ACH, and then make that payment. And they can see all the information on the side over here. Now, let's say they are logged into the portal. One benefit over QBO is they can also view all outstanding invoices in their portal. So if you go to the billing tab, they can see all the other invoices that they need to pay. I'm behind on my payments, and they can pay all those invoices from inside here. They can also see their payment methods and manage them, as well as manage any proposals that they have signed with your firm as well. So you have all the billing information, the payment methods, past invoices, overdue invoices, and proposals all in this portal view that they can view in one place, which we talked about is creating a better client experience. Now, all the billing information, all the payments, everything is happening in one place. So let's go back. So you can see here, this is the invoice that we just created. Let's say, and you can see that is now automatically synced with QBO because I sent it to the client. Now, let's say I want to mark the invoice paid. They paid me via cash or check, and they didn't make an online payment. You can click the invoice, and then from here, you can mark the invoice as paid manually. Say paid via cash, and mark it as paid. So that is how you can mark invoices paid if they don't make payment inside the platform. I remember someone asked me that question. This is not available for Canada yet, but we just signed an agreement with Stripe to offer billing in Canada, and we should have that live in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So this is going to be available soon for all Canadian firms. Okay. So let's see, should have the ability to get notifications by email. Okay. Canada. There isn't a way to collect payment over the phone. So if you want to view the invoice via PDF, when you're on the invoice here, you can download the PDF version to view that, but also you can view the invoice line items here as well. Okay, Jason, thanks for the feedback. Clients can not make partial payments on the invoices. I'm actually curious. I'm going to run a poll. Okay, I'm going to launch a poll real quick. I'm curious how important partial payments are. Let me launch this real quick. Okay, drop that in. Andrew, I don't believe I understand your question. So in this example, the only reason I can see this information on the left is because I'm logged into my portal already. So it just took me directly in when I made the payment, when I clicked the payment link. But if they're not logged into a portal or they're not using a client portal, they wouldn't be showed this portal. So for example, if I sign out here and then I go back to this email, this is what it's going to look like. It's not going to show this stuff on the side. Again, this is already paid, so they can see it's paid, but this is what they would see if they were not actually logged into the portal. Okay. Yeah, if the client gives you a card, you can add the card to the client's file and then make payment to the invoice for them. So if you manually mark an invoice paid via cash, that will still be synced back to QBO and show that it was paid via cash on the transaction. You can restrict clients from paying via credit card. So if you saw here, if I go back to invoices and I create an invoice, I can choose not to accept credit cards. I can only accept ACH. But we do have the ability to pass credit card fees on to the client if you want to give them the option to do so. So you don't have to pay that fee. Okay, description box. Our team can help. So if you're interested in migrating, our team can import the invoices for you, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So if we go back here, the client can view the PDF version of the invoice here. So they saw the payment for an invoice, but if they want to view it, they can click this here to view it when they're making payment. Brenda, you have to select at least one payment method, ACH or credit card. You can't remove both. Melissa, I believe the PDF is, yeah, so the PDF is automatically attached to the email notification sent to the client. So when the client is paying it, they can also see the PDF attached to the email by automatically. So if you already have the client's payment method on file, you'll see here auto charge the client and you'll be able to check. So if I go back to Adeline Collins, I can choose the payment method that I want to auto charge the client for the amount. You don't have to actually send the invoice. There is an option for deposits in proposals, which I'll show that in a little bit, which does allow multiple payments or partial payments, but it's a little bit different from partial payments on invoices. You don't need to sign authorization to execute the payment for the client because when you have the ability to request the payment methods from all your clients very easily inside of Financial Sense. So you can see all your clients that don't have payment methods. You can automatically choose which payment methods you want to collect from them, card or ACH or both. And then you can send them an email. And this is basically replaces an authorization form. So when they upload it, they're authorizing you to actually uh, uh, charge that payment method in the future. Also, when a client makes a payment to like the payment form I just did, there is a citation under there that says making payment with this information allows us to authorize for future payments as well. So even by making one payment, you'll have the payment method to use for future payments as well. Okay, so if you have a payment method for a client already, you can easily add it to the client's profile. So if you go to the client's profile in the billing tab, here you can add payment methods for that client manually if you don't want to have to request it from them. So I want to show you something else though. I know there's some more questions, but I'm going to come back to this. Uh, is we showed how you can create like a fixed fee invoice, right? A lot of people were asking about, can you bill billable time or invoice billable time to the client? And yes, you can do that inside of Financial Sense. So you also see a report called unbilled here. Here, you can view for a certain period of time all of the unbilled time entries for all your clients. So right here, I only have one client for unbilled time, but I would be able to view all my clients that have unbilled time. And I would also be able to automatically batch create invoices for all those clients. So for example, if I had 10 clients with billable time, I could select them all and create 10 draft invoices all at once. So it's batch creating invoices. Also, you have these filters. You can filter by team member, you can filter by service items, or you can filter by time period. So for example, maybe I just want to bill all my clients for monthly bookkeeping work. I can filter for the monthly bookkeeping service item, and it will just show all the time entries for monthly bookkeeping work here, as you can see. And it would do that across all those. So then I could just batch invoice all my clients for monthly bookkeeping work for a period of time, or tax work if they're on different billing cycles. So let me show you now how you can invoice for the time here. So you'll be able to view the client, how many entries in the total billable amount. You can then select a client here or just click invoice. It's then going to create the actual invoice. So let me refresh my screen. So it's going to create the invoice. You can see all this time entries were added to the invoice. It includes the service date, which is the time when the time was tracked. It includes the service item associated with it. And it also includes the description, which is the project name on the description, and the time tracking notes. So you can see all that information and provide detailed invoices to your clients. You can then also write up and write down the time entries, which soon when we release our realization reports, you'll be able to see your write up, write down throughout the year for certain clients and have a realization report. But one powerful thing too is now you also have the ability to group line items. So for example, maybe like these two are monthly bookkeeping and this is tax return. I want to clean this up a little bit. I can group it by service item. So now it groups the two monthly bookkeeping time entries together and the time and kept the tax return separate. Or I can choose to group them all together if I want. So now it's one line item for all the billings. And then I can even, if I want, remove certain items. I can break them back out. So you can now, this is a big one because I know a lot of people want this. You have the grouping functionality now on the invoices. So I'm going to go back to some questions. If you do auto charge a client, the client will receive a copy of the invoice still. Jane, you can write up and write down. You do have the date of the unbilled time here on the service date and the invoice. on the proposal. Yes. If you do still continue to track time in our system and integrate with QBO and you bill out of our system, you can still have that time flow into QBO for payroll and other purposes. Robert, the portal does satisfy everything for credit card securities. Everything is PCI compliance. You don't need to do anything else on your end for security purposes. The realization reports are not live yet. They're going to be live in the next few weeks, which I'm going to show you what they look like though, because the team has already started working on them. The customize button down here allows you to customize which items are shown on the invoice. For example, I can hide the service data if I want. When we start, so if you write up and write down, there will be a report soon that will show you how much you're writing up and writing down for each client. The AR report is coming soon too, which I'll show you as well. Okay. So let's quickly, so I've showed you how you can bill for billable time. You can also add billable time from here. You don't have to do it from the unbilled report. You can click this. So if I remove these items, I can click this and it'll show the billable time entries that I can add as well. So let me remove this. So we talked a lot about the invoicing. I want to show you now because there's a lot of things you can customize on invoices. So I showed you how you can customize here the service items. But if you actually go to your settings under the billing tab here, so settings right here, you'll see payments. Here, you can choose to pass the credit card fees on to the client. So as you can see, I have it turned on here. So my clients will get charged a 2.9% processing fee to cover the actual credit card fees. Which helps boost your profitability, especially not have to pay the fees if the client wants those reward benefits. Here you can set up the sync with QuickBooks Online, so you can sync the invoices and payments to QBO, and also sync the deposit and expense accounts. And here you can customize the invoice number. I saw someone ask about that earlier. You can customize the billing email showed on the invoice and the address of the firm. And here we talked about how you can customize which columns are shown on this invoice for the services. You can actually set a default here. So by default, it will show these, it will default to this on the invoices. You can also customize the logo. So if you put your logo in the firm settings under company, it will put that on the invoice as well. So that's an important thing is your settings. That's where you have a lot of customization. That's where you can set up those invoices. This is the way you want to set them up. The syncing to QBO is one way. So our invoices and payments will sync to QBO, but the payments and invoices sent out of QBO will not sync to our system. Billable time is entered through time tracking up here. You can't manually change the invoice number for each invoice. It's only you can set the starting invoice number. You don't need the scale plan for invoices to show on your logos to show on the invoices, I believe, but I would confirm that with our support team. Elizabeth, you don't need to send your clients an authorization form because when clients make payment, we have text that says they're also authorizing you to use this for future payments. Also, if you are an invoicing and you request payment methods through our system securely, that is also them authorizing to use those payments for future payments as well. So you don't actually have to send them a PDF authorization form. That's what this will do for you. And you can bill upfront and apply time. You can do both. So I could bill upfront for work and I can apply time. But now I really want to talk about a huge feature that a lot of people love when it comes to billing, and that's proposals. So we also release alongside invoicing and payments a proposal feature. So this allows you to send modern proposals to your clients, but also when they sign and accept those legally binding proposals, it will automatically generate the invoices in the proposal. So it can automate your billing, and you can also collect the payment information up front, effectively replacing Anchor, Ignition, or all these other platforms where you're having to pay extra fees for. So not only saving you money, but streamlining your process and again, keeping everything in one place. So let me show you real quick how the proposal functionality works. So you click proposals and engagement letters here. And when in this view, you can see all your outstanding, accepted, and other proposals. Creating a proposal is simple. So I'm going to click create proposal here. We just recently released proposal templates. So if you have a certain standard proposal you send to all new prospects or certain types of prospects, you can save multiple templates here. So I'm going to use this template I have to kind of walk you through. So I'm going to select a client. I'm going to send this proposal to, it's going to be Adeline Collins, and I'm going to send it to Jonathan, Adeline Collins. Proposal name, 2025 monthly bookkeeping services. And then the proposal is going to start on acceptance. You have the ability to choose a specific date if you prefer. And you can set client reminders for signing the proposal as well. Here you can put in a custom introductory video, which I have already done. I put it in Loom or YouTube, but I put in Loom in this example. So you can put a video to welcome your client, and you can write information about your firm here. So a nice introductory message on the proposal. So next, we're going to go to the services. This is the items that you're going to actually bill your clients for. So this is how you're going to build out the core of the proposal. This is where you're going to put the services you're going to charge them for and the scope of work. So you can see you also have the ability to create packages. So you can have like a good, better, best, or basic, standard, premium option for the clients to upsell them. And I've actually already created them here. So in the basic plan, I have the QuickBooks cleanup, the monthly bookkeeping, and you can even also have optional items for them to upsell them on inside those proposals. So I included the ability to do tax return if they want to add that to this billing. So that's in the basic. In the standard, I have added payroll. And then in the premium, I added fractional CFO services. So this is going to bill them for $4,000 for the on a monthly recurring basis. Versus the basic, they choose that, it's only $1,500. So you can have multiple options in a proposal. I'm going to show you what this all looks like on the client end. But really big takeaways here are you can have multiple packages, and you can have optional items for the services. So as you can see here, there's different types of services you can add, or service types. You can have service types for one-time, so like one-time invoices, recurring invoices. So like if you're doing monthly bookkeeping, when they sign the proposal, it's going to automatically create that recurring invoice and charge them every single month. You can put hourly services in here. So if you don't know how much you're going to bill them yet, but you want them to agree to a specific rate, you can put that in here, and like an hourly rate, and then deposits. So in this example, the deposit I have up here is the QuickBooks cleanup. Here it's $1,000, but I wanted to charge $500 up front, and then maybe $500 later. So you can see that here. And if I change this, I could say $600 up front and $400 later. Here I have my monthly bookkeeping services that's set to bill them every month from acceptance for $1,500, and my tax return, which I've created an optional item for $1,000. You can use your QBO service items. So if you integrate with QBO, it's going to import all your QBO service items, so you can use them on the proposals and the invoices. But if you don't have them in QBO, you can also create them in our system. One powerful thing too is you can actually put the scope of work and the services. And if you don't have a scope of work, so like in this example, let's say I don't have one, I can suggest this scope of work with AI. So I can use AI to write the scope of work for me, so I don't have to do it all on my own. You can see what it came up with. I can try a new version, or I can use it, and then I can customize it to fit my needs better. So it creates a better scope of work for my firm. So I can take all this out if I don't want the rest of this in there. And I can save that. So this is where you build out the services and how you're actually what you're going to be invoicing your clients for. So when your clients accept this proposal, they're going to automatically be invoiced $600 for the QuickBooks cleanup. They're going to automatically be invoiced $1,500 on a recurring basis. And they're going to, if they choose to add on tax return, they'll be billed another $1,000. We don't integrate with Xero just yet. So then after you set up your services, you can hit continue. Next is payment methods. So do you want to allow them to pay with credit card or debit cards or ACH? You can choose. And you can require the payment methods up front, which we would recommend, because if you can get those payment messages when they're signing, the payment method when signing the proposal, you can automatically charge those payment methods in the future. So you don't have to chase them down to collect payment. When they sign, they're going to get charged immediately on the start date of the proposal. And then lastly, you can put your engagement letter in here. This is important because this allows us to become a legally binding document. So you can put your firm's engagement letter, and then once you've done that, you can preview it, see what it's going to look like, and then send it to the client. And if you want to save that as a template, you can here, but you can send it to the client. So now you can see it's awaiting acceptance. So now let's go and show you what it looks like on the client end. Jane, I'm going to show you. They're going to be able to sign this electronically. And you don't need Adobe Sign to do this. This is all built into the system. So now your client's going to get an email that looks like this. It's going to tell them, or your prospect, that there's a proposal for them to view. They're going to be able to review it. They can see the welcome video I put in the proposal here, as well as the information about the firm. They can then choose the package they want to accept. So we have the basic, standard, or premium. So there's the QuickBooks cleanup. There's the initial payment of $600 and the following up balance of $400. The recurring for monthly bookkeeping, which is $1,500, and the optional add-on for tax returns. But you can see the basic plan has just the bookkeeping, the standard has payroll, and the premium has the fractional CFO services, and the charges are higher for those. So they can select the plan. So I'm going to select premium. Then it's going to take them to show them the actual items and the scope of work for those items. So they can see the QuickBooks cleanup, the scope of work for that. They can see the recurring monthly bookkeeping, the scope of work, and they can see the payroll and the scope of work for that. And once they scroll all the way down, and then here they can see the tax return, which is an optional add-on. So if they want to add this on, it's going to be an additional $1,000. So upsell the client. I can hit continue. Here, the client has the ability to put in the credit card or ACH information to collect the payment information up front, but they will not be charged until the proposal start date. I didn't make this required because I'm doing a demo, but would recommend making this required to get payment information up front. Then you can hit continue. Here, the client's going to be able to see your terms and your engagement letter. They can then accept the terms and then sign it all from here. Then when they accept that proposal, it's going to notify you inside of Financial Sense. Let's go back. You can see that the proposal has been accepted. We also track their IP address and everything, so it's a legally binding document that can hold up in court. And then the best part is, now that this proposal has been accepted, it's going to automatically generate all those invoices. So as you can see here, there's the invoice for the cleanup, there's for the QuickBooks cleanup, the invoice for the CFO services, the invoice for the tax return, and the monthly bookkeeping services. So all that has been automatically generated based on the proposal being signed. And it takes, a little bit of time, but it will in the next few hours actually send the invoice. And if you collected the payment information up front, it would automatically invoice for all those, uh, charge for all those invoices. So you wouldn't even have to send them. It would just charge the payment method on file that they added to the proposal. So right now we don't have the automation where it automatically creates the projects. So what's going to be soon available is when they sign that invoice, maybe it would automatically create the monthly bookkeeping work, the CFO work, the tax return work as well, automating some of that admin work. But that's coming soon. And that's going to be a very powerful feature we have. Um, we have a Adobe Sign integration, which you can use for tax PDFs, but you don't need Adobe to sign for the clients to sign this proposal. This is built in a financial sense. The e-signature is built in. It does not require Adobe Sign. It does not require any other e-signature integrations. Okay. Any questions about proposals? All right, so next I want to show you some of the reporting. So that's a lot of the new functionality for Billing 2.0. We have very robust proposal functionality. We have a lot of the new invoicing functionality. You can customize your invoices. You can really customize your settings, and you can build billable time, write up, write down things, really having everything you need to really invoice your clients. There's still some improvements coming, just some small things, but we're also adding a lot of reporting. So one of the other major benefits by having your billing data inside a financial sense, we're going to be able to give you more insights into profitability and realization on your work, client, and team members. So let me show you some of these real quick. Uh, let's first talk about the realization reports. So you're going to be able to see on a client, team member, and project level realization. Oops. Let's go back. This is a prototype. Let me fix this real quick. All right. So you'll be able to see all your clients here. You'll be able to see the hourly billables, the fixed fee billables, and then total billable amount. So how much you were supposed to bill your clients. Then you can see how much you wrote up or wrote down for that period of time. You can see whether it was a negative or positive, and see your realization rates here on the side, and then aggregate it across all your clients, what your realization rates were. You can also soon be able to associate a labor cost with all your employees. So maybe the clients, the staff member's billable rate is $100, but they're costing you $50 an hour. So you can apply that cost, and based on who worked on the client, you'll be able to see the cost and then see your gross profit and then see what that margin is. So now you're able to see your profit margins on a client by client level. You'll also be able to see it on a team member level and even the profitability on a project level. So you can really get good insights into which team members, which projects, and which clients are driving firm profitability, because now we have all this data in the system. And this is all coming in the next few weeks. Let's see. Ryan, I would reach out to Chatsport. I don't know if I completely understand your question. Um, uh, this will be available in Canada in the next 3 to 4 weeks. We just signed an agreement with Stripe, and we'll be able to allow Canadian firms to process payments soon. You can so by default, only the owners will be able to see the profit margins, but you can give access to managers or other people on your team if you need to. So that's one report. Another report is revenue insights. You'll be able to see your total revenue month by month, how much of the revenue is one time versus recurring, as you can see here. And you'll also be able to see how much revenue was generated by each service for your firm. So you can see how much revenue was bookkeeping versus tax versus cleanup versus payroll. You'll also be able to be over here to be able to see how many new clients you're bringing in month over month, how much revenue your firm is making on per client. So these are some key firm metrics in terms of firm health, as well as revenue per employee. So you have all these revenue insights to better just track and track the overall revenue health of your firm. Another report is, let's see, AR is the AR aging report. Someone asked about this. You'll be able to see your accounts receivable broken out by clients and by stages of days as well. All this reporting is coming this quarter, so you can get better insights into the billing and your revenue and improve overall operations. Any questions about the reporting and some of this and just invoicing our proposals? Let's see real quick. Okay. Proposal acceptance sorting by proposal acceptance is based off what you set it as in the proposal, Ryan. So if I go back to proposals, when I create one, I can choose the proposal start date. I can make it based on acceptance, or I can make it on a specific date. So let's say it starts on the 26th, for example. Elizabeth, great question. So if you send an invoice for unbillable time, but you actually didn't pull them out from this report, let me see if I can find some for this month. There's a way to remove them manually. So I can actually select them, and then I can choose to hide them from the unbilled time report or really exclude them. So if I do this, this will remove it from the unbilled report because maybe I billed for it outside of this report and I want to have it cleared so I don't bill for it again. Back to chat. You can send any type of form 8879 for signature via Financial Sense, but you need the Adobe Sign integration for PDF forms. Okay, so one thing I want to mention is if you're interested in billing, let me run a poll real quick. Actually, there's no reason to run that. So drop it in the chat. Do you like what you saw today? Does this look like something you can use in your firm? So if you're interested in using this billing functionality, we have a special offer going on right now. So one thing is our team is always available to help you get everything migrated. We know that you guys are busy. So our team can actually migrate all your invoices over from your current billing platform if you're interested in that. They can migrate all over. They can help you collect the payment information so you don't have to do any of the heavy lifting and you can get everything up and running really quickly. And on top of that, we're doing a limited time special offer where if you migrate your invoicing over in the 60 days from today, you can get up to $1,000 credit on your account, depending on your volume. So if you have like $250,000 in process payment volume annually, you get a $250 credit. 500,000, $500 credit. Million, $1,000 credit. So you can get up to $1,000 in credits against your subscription if you sign up if you work with our team to migrate everything over in the next 60 days. And I'm going to drop in a link for all of you. So this is the link to schedule a migration call with our team. So if you schedule this call and get it done, you'll have ability to get up to $1,000 in discounts and credits on Financial Sense. The same offer will be available to Canada as well when it goes live. Also, so use that link below to schedule. And also, if you're inside the app and you just can't schedule now, if you come back to the billing and invoices page, you can click migrate invoices here and schedule that call to take advantage of that offer. So up to $1,000 if you get that migrated over within 60 days, on top of all the other benefits you're going to get. But this is the new billing solution. We still got some other updates coming around reporting. We're going to be adding some more functionality to the invoicing, to the proposals. Actually, I'm really curious, based off everything that you saw today, what's still missing? What do you want to see added to the invoicing or to the proposal platform to really make it even more powerful? We're already going to be adding some more, but I'm curious what you think. Faster ACH, I know that's a big one. WIP and realization will be available in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Migration from other platforms, Buck Jennings, we can migrate everything over for you now manually. If just use that link above to schedule it. Partial payments. Okay. Uh, templates. So the templates for invoices will be coming next week. That's a big one. I'm actually curious. I'm going to drop a poll in because I'm seeing this come up a lot. So I want to know if you want to get notified every time an invoice is paid. The only reason I'm asking this is because if you have a lot of clients, that's a lot of notifications. And you also have to know who does this decide who these notifications go to. So I'm going to run a poll. I'm just curious, would this not cause email like overwhelm? So do you want to, oh, it says get an inappropriate. I meant notification. That was a typo. It's autocorrect. Do you want to get a notification? Uh, in-app and email notification every time a payment is made. Okay, so Brad's got a good, so it's 50-50 right now. What about a daily email? Would that be better? Okay, I like that. So in that daily email, maybe just list all the clients that paid, how much they paid. Okay, daily digest. I like that. I'm going to end the poll. Um, I'm just seeing if there was any other things people said was missing. Okay, I think we could set that up in settings. Hide on build time, invoice date on invoice. Okay. Yes, the email digest will be optional. Basically, I think what we're going to be doing is we're just going to allow you to turn that on when you set up your invoice settings. Um, okay, so that is Billing 2.0. I really appreciate all the feedback you gave us here today. Again, if you're interested in using it, I would suggest getting it set up in the next 60 days with our team. If you go back to that link, I'm going to drop it in again, and you schedule a migration call here and allow our team to migrate all your invoicing for you. They can show you more about how the billing works. They can answer your questions. If you do that in the next 60 days, you can get up to $1,000 credited towards your account. And you will get a copy of this recording. I will send it out. There is no fee for migration. The migration is completely free, and you'll get $1,000 credit. So if you're interested in it, definitely reach out to our team through this link or schedule the migration call, or you can even do it inside of Financial Sense from this Migrate Invoices button on your Invoices tab. You can click that and schedule the call as well. All right, everyone. Thanks for your time, and I hope this was helpful. See y'all later.